podcast with hosts John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Playbook Podcast Show here for the final episode of the MLB DFS Better Baseball Show. Here, 13 games on a Friday. Regular season ends on maybe Sunday, possibly Monday if the Mets and Marlins need to finish up the ninth inning here. But that won't have any impact on the DFS slate for us all. James, my friend, how are we doing today?
We're doing, John, my last TGIF of the year, or my last Happy Friday to you, at least for the baseball season, because in about 3 weeks, NBA will be back, and we'll be right back in the saddle. But last baseball live stream of the year. I put in the tweet today, John, don't cry because it's over, smile because it's happened. And you and I have done a lot more of the former than the latter this year, but thank God for basketball coming up. But it's been a long season. It's been a fun
Howard
season.
asked me, I just did the Better Sports Betting Show. Howard asked me how the season went for us this year. I said we had a lot of great moments. We had a lot of great contrarian stack moments, stacking Orioles often against some top pitchers there at 1%. We had the the Royals or the Nationals getting all over Wheeler, I think it was that day, or Nola that day. So we've had some good days. We've had some bad days here, but hopefully we can finish it out on a bang for everybody.
Yeah, and hopefully, you guys have enjoyed the content that we have provided, and we thank you guys for tuning in every day. I know Mark, the Prince, a plethora of other guys tuning in every day, and we appreciate you guys for doing so, and we hope to continue to see you guys in the future as Fantasy Alarm continues to grow, and we continue to put on shows for you guys, whether it's baseball, whether it's basketball. John's on football. He'll probably be in hockey at some point. He'll probably be John's a golf tout. We saw him win a big golf tournament this year. I mean, so
I play everything. I can't wait for hockey season. You and I were hockey touts at a point last year. Remember?
Yep, we sure were, dude. That was a great NBA All-Star break. Yeah. I was 4 for 4 winning. I think first four nights.
You know who the hockey tout is? Mark. Mark's in chat. Mark's a big NHL DFS hockey tout. So we're getting our way through the baseball season here. We're going to enter. We've already had a really good start to the NFL season, and we got NBA and NHL coming up. So you want to follow along at Fantasy Alarm. We have our 7-day free trial going on. Our NHL draft kit just got released. If you still have your seasonal fantasy hockey drafts to go, you can go check that out. Our NBA draft kit will be coming out probably next week, getting you all ready for the NBA regular season. But James and I will be here throughout the NBA DFS season, getting you ready for live streams and playbooks. And we'll have also the NHL team in our Discord doing playbooks and content. Find them on Twitter and all that other good stuff here as well. So Mike the mailman saying need help with basketball and hockey. Don't worry, we got you right here with the family. So stick with us for sure. Let's get into it. We got 13 games, maybe less.
No, 12.
Maybe 11. What's the Baltimore weather looking like here, James?
There was no concern earlier in the day. Still no concern at this point. So the one game that was concerning was the flooding in New York that we had. And I don't know if you saw any of the videos on Twitter, but New York's just flooding everywhere. So and we know the Mets have been a disaster this week. They might cause. There's a lot of playoff implications. So you can point right. The Mets are just at the center of all issues in baseball all the time. So nothing new this week, and their game's postponed. Not because them this time, but the rest of the week's been their fault. But that game is out of the way. We have no weather issues heading into this slate. So let's just get into things, John. Let's just.
Alrighty. You did the playbook today, so I'm going to lean heavily on you for the breakdown and analysis of this 13-game slate. We did the podcast this morning. We went over some of our top pitching plays. This is a very interesting pitching slate because we weren't really sure how long some of these guys are going to go, what the lineups are going to look like at times here. But we have a little bit more clarity now on where we're looking to attack. So tell me, man, where are we going?
Home. Away from pitching, because it all sucks.
We looked at that tonight. That is
no. So, when you talk about pitching, it's really tough liking anyone above 8K. I'm just going to start there. Like, there's a case to be made for Lance Lynn, but I think even Lance Lynn is kind of in a spot where we don't really know if he's going to slot into the Dodgers rotation, where he's going to slot into the Dodgers rotation come postseason time. So how lengthy of an outing is he going to have? Alan Winans has been interesting during his 5 starts at the major league level. He's had 1 bad start against the Mets and 4 like decent starts, but he allows a lot of base runners and has gotten pretty good strand rates and lucky outcomes due to that fact. He's missed a lot of bats. He has two outings of 22 plus fantasy points in his 5. He's also like incredibly cheap on FanDuel, so I'd just rather play him over there. I do like him on DraftKings. I'm fine with going there.
Okay.
But I think my interest lies in the 7K range, and you mentioned one guy, Nick Pivetta. I like his opponent in John Means and Carlos Rodon, and that's honestly where I am basically settling in because we have Coors, we have the Braves who are just continuing to run all of their guys out there. They do not care. They want to win as many games as possible. The Reds are really expensive. I really like their spot. So there's like really expensive teams that I want to get to.
Sure.
So Pivetta, Means, and Rodon is basically where I'm living at pitcher.
Yeah, Means has been really good since coming back. Obviously, not a big strikeout guy ever, but Red Sox lineup certainly leaves a little bit to be desired at this point. We know with Baltimore already missing some big bats tonight, setting they clinched their playoff spot, so they have no real need to play some of their guys and risk injury here. So, and Pivetta's been a horse of late as well. 7 shutout against the White Sox last time out, 7 Ks. Had the 10 strikeout game against the Yankees a little while back as well. So I'm with you. No real reason to spend all the way up, given the uncertainty that we have in a lot of these spots here when we want to pay up for some of these top bats for sure.
Yeah, and I'll throw Rodon in that mix too. He is
definitely hit a Yankees lineup. It's not great.
I actually like the top half. I have those 4 listed in the MLB DFS playbook over at FantasyAlarm.com. Those 4 guys are listed in my Yankee stack. They're top 4 of their lineup. That's exactly the 4 that I wanted to play. And that's the only 4 I'd probably play, truthfully. So I don't disagree, but I do like the top 4. That's
okay.
40% of the lineup is good. Rodon has definitely had a subpar season, and there's not much to like. I mean, he was injured all year. He's making a boatload of money while injured, and his 3rd start of the year, he blew a kiss to the fans because he was frustrated because he was getting shelled, which is, I said it to you right after, great way to just make it in New York is blowing kisses on the road because you're frustrated. You're really going to make it in the biggest market in sports. You're going to go far if that's what's going to get under your skin.
We have our first managerial casualty in the MLB.
Did who just got fired?
Gabe Kapler has been fired by the Giants.
Wow. So I guess it doesn't surprise me because they've absolutely collapsed, but
you're going to fire him 3 days before the season.
Dude, that's a brutal firing. That is an absolute brutal firing. Brutal firing, 1. 2, management did not do him any favors getting into the roster that they got.
No.
They went all in on thinking they were going to get Correa and Judge, and they got neither, and then gave him, here's Conforto and Mitch Haniger. Gabe, use openers all year. That's, so that's brutal timing for sure. Poor Gabe Cat. I mean,
can't let the man finish the season.
He did not. He did not deserve that 3 games for the season. But back to the Rodon point, he has at least finished the season on relatively good terms outside of the Detroit start. He got shelled in Detroit, so be it. Back-to-back quality starts against Arizona, Pittsburgh. He had 10 strikeouts in that Pittsburgh start. 5 innings of 1 run, 9 strikeouts against Boston. 5 innings, 2 runs against Houston, 4 2/3, 2 runs against Tampa, 6 innings, 1 run against Washington. So it's been a stretch of good starts outside of Detroit for Rodon. There is a lot of strikeout appeal with Kansas City, 27% strikeout rate over the last month. So against left-handed pitching. So I do like Rodon, but I am largely living Rodon, Pivetta, Means. In lineups that I'm not playing Pivetta, I'm playing Means, pairing him with Rodon. In lineups that I'm playing Means and not playing Pivetta, I'm pairing him with Rodon. So that's really where I'm living.
I'm with you there. I think that's where we have to live. Moving on over to catcher, then you mentioned Wells in your lineup. I'm in agreement with you. Hitting cleanup. I mean, hard to argue with that, right? At $2,900, getting him in your lineup, he's part of your stack. Gabe Moreno's 3,400 hitting seventh. I don't mind that. Kirk at 29 hitting sixth against Savali. Savali hasn't been all that great. Wouldn't mind going there either if we're just looking to spend down here tonight.
Yeah. Of those guys, Wells is definitely the one that stands out to me the most. And then I'm gonna wait and see. I don't know which Minnesota catcher's in the lineup, but maybe we get both because I've seen a lineup projected with both. One DH.
Kinsler's hitting sixth actually in $2,800. That's not bad either. With the lefty on the mound.
Yeah, Kinsler. He's fine. Especially Williamson hasn't been great, and he had been really good. He's obviously fallen off a little bit, but 10 home runs in 68 games is pretty good. I would at that point I'd just probably punt Wells for $100 more, and then look towards. But like no interest in spending up. Like Jeffers at 42 is the most pricey catcher I would.
Yeah, I play Cal Raleigh against Evaldi.
That's fine. That's fine too, because Evaldi has not been good.
Not good. Cal Raleigh, all of his power comes against righties. And Seattle's playing for something here. Walk-off hit last night by J.P. Crawford, keeping their season alive. Wasn't it Cal Raleigh that sent them to the playoffs last year? With the homer?
Down right field, I think.
Yeah. So, and that was from the left side of the plate. So I like Cal Raleigh tonight at $3,800. And we've talked the struggles for Woo. You mentioned the Texas catchers. Jonah Heim, lefty, he'll hit from the left side. So Woo's struggles against lefties are pretty prevalent.
Yeah, I another one I don't necessarily mind. Texas is really – it's funny to see that game in general. There's not a lot of implied runs whatsoever.
More reasons to like Pivetta tonight. Adley Rutschman scratched from the lineup. So
I mean, he's too hungover, right? I mean, these guys are not playing. Like Gunner now, no Gunner, no Santander, no Rutschman. Come on.
You get Adam Frazier and Jorge Mateo 1-2 today. What do we do?
The lineup. Well, now that Adley was scratched, what was the lineup before?
Adley was hitting second, so it is Mullins leading off. We don't know who's going to hit second now. They're going to have to put in McCann at catcher, right? So,
yep. O'Hearn third.
O'Hearn, Mountcastle, Hazier, Mateo, Urias, Kirkstad, and then McCann, I guess.
Kirkstad hitting fifth tonight.
Yeah, we got it right here. Mountcastle up to second. So Mullins, Mountcastle, O'Hearn, Hayes, Kirkstad, Westberg, Frazier, McCann, Mateo.
Still pretty good. Still a pretty good lineup, but not obviously.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but obviously Mountcastle not great against righties. Ryan O'Hearn all season long. Oh, hey, for the first time all year, he's not having an 800 OPS when I click on his name. So,
True.
So, yeah, that's a catcher position. We're in agreement.
That's a catcher position.
First base.
We're here.
Where you go?
We're here. We're here at first. If you're spending up Matt Olson again, like the Braves are, for one reason or another, the Braves are just out here to ruin people's lives. And like opposing fans' lives, I should say, because they're just 102 wins. They don't care. They're playing their dudes. So Olsen, perfectly fine getting there. Skipping most of the next tier, like I'd be okay with Spencer Steer, but I feel like 5,300 is a little pricey. I really do like the Reds tonight quite a bit. And the reason I'd mostly skip Spencer Steer is because I would just play the other Reds first baseman here in Christian Encarnacion Strand, who is on a heater right now. We're talking like power heater, 6 home runs in his last like 8 games overall, 9 games overall. And this was a guy who came into the team like massive power upside. Yeah. And, he does benefit obviously from playing games at home, and this game is not being played at home, but then you factor in that he gets to face John Woodford, and John Woodford is very bad. He has been, or Jake Woodford, sorry. I just pulled a Mark and a U combined. 209 isolated power allowed to righties, 374 WOBA. Strand has a 244 ISO, 370 WOBA against right-handed pitching. So he's one of my favorite plays of the slate. I am all in on the Reds tonight, $4,300. He's my favorite first baseman of the day.
Okay. Yeah, listen, I don't mind it. Obviously, the power is pretty legit here. I do like Brandon Drury, who is first base only now on the slate against Wall to Suck. And then Nathaniel Lowe, as I mentioned, the numbers for Woo, it's like an almost 600 slugging percentage allowed to lefties. Texas is going to be one of my favorite stacks of the night here, going up against Woo this evening with all the lefty bats they could throw out there. Mark said, if not for us, he wouldn't have played Brandon Belt this season. Well, we're playing Brandon Belt tonight.
I mean, just like he's there for me with Drury and Encarnacion Strand. Sure. Probably. I'm not as I know Woo struggles against lefties. Hard for me to pay $4,500 for Nathaniel Lowe in current form. That's all I'll say. He has been one of the worst players in baseball of late. I know he is not this bad, but like it's been. Oof.
He's been the opposite of Xander Bogaerts.
It's been oof to end his year. So like, I would put Belt right behind like the other guys.
Okay.
So I'm perfectly fine getting there. Savali has been worse against righties. I don't mind like another 2-man stack if we wanted to do exactly the two. We said it last night. Belt Varsho, both homered, both came through. Like that was the exact scenario we kind of played out, and both guys have been pretty good lately, especially in the power department. So that I'll just repeat exactly that point.
Sounds good. Second base here.
Whoa. There is value to be had. You're just moving on. You don't even care. I thought we talked
value. All right, give me value then.
4K value. Sheesh. You're slacking today.
You said you had like CEH in all your lineups.
Yeah, but I can also play him at third. If
done. All right,
yeah, but I can also play him at third.
Talk your value, son.
Donovan Solano, first and third eligible, 3,400. He'll be at the top of the lineup. He's been great against left-handed pitching all year. And then Elihuris Montero. Look, I'm in on the Rockies again. I know Joe Ryan has been okay again, but he has largely struggled in the second half of the year. I don't know how long they're going to go with him in this game to kind of get them set up for the postseason. And Montero is now homered in 2 of 3. Another just case of, you love Coors Field, don't you? $3,400, guys, and 900 OPS, 321 average in Coors Field.
Yeah.
So I like Montero and Solano quite a bit at 3,400. I think they both make for very good value. I don't understand why we don't have a Twins lineup yet. It's a little annoying because I continue to click and we continue to not have it. But I expect Solano to hit first or second or third.
Okay. Now we can go to second base. So we have Mookie Betts here. Potentially, I assume. Mookie Betts will be in the lineup. Simeon at 58. Albie is at 56. Ketel Marte is up to 53. Thoughts on the top tier second baseman here?
I have Albies listed as my top second baseman on in the core plays section of at fantasyalarm.com. And I mean, he's just been really good against both splits. I know he's been largely a better hitter from the right side his entire career, but he's figured something out. 239 ISO, 343 WOBA against righties. And we know Trevor Williams is a gas can. He is not long for Major League Baseball if he continues to pitch the way he has. So I think Albies is my top second baseman of the day.
Moving on our way down into the mid-tier range, then we know that Paredes hits lefties pretty well. Gets Kikuchi, not Ryu, who's initially on the podcast. They are still a lefty, though, 46. Geloff gets Chase Silseth at 45. Gleiber's at 42. Really good price tag on him there. And Tommy Edman, I still like against Williamson. He's good against lefties.
Yeah, I would say Gleyber would be the guy that stands out to me the most. Only 2 pitchers in baseball have allowed more home runs than Jordan Lyles this year. Jordan Lyles has allowed 38 home runs. The fact that there's people that have allowed more is another conversation. Lucas Giolito is one of those guys, and Lance Lynn is the other. I guess no surprise that the top 3 in home runs allowed this year, but I mean, we know Jordan Lyles is not any good, and he can't keep the ball in the ballpark. So Gleyber hitting third behind Judge is going to get a lot of pitches to hit. Yeah, I think Tommy Edman is a good play against lefties specifically. He has not hit righties well. He has hit lefties well. So, I mean, if that's where you fall, I have no issue getting to Edman. Is he my favorite second baseman? No. I wish he had multi-position eligibility still. That's kind of crappy, but I'm perfectly fine if that's where you land.
Sure. Value, please. Where are you looking at second here tonight?
Brendan Rodgers? That's maybe end list. I know the Angels have a couple guys hitting at the bottom of their lineup. Like David Fletcher has been a guy that we've used in the past, but he's kind of been bad. Kevin Biggio was good yesterday. I know you gave him a shout, and every time you give him a shout, he seemingly is good, but I don't know. It's a good lineup spot. I probably wouldn't actually play anyone below Brendan Rodgers at 30.
Mm-hmm. That's fine. Again, it's an interesting position because of it. I always, I like having Biggio, so just $2,700. Gotta get his name mentioned in the last show of the season.
Yep.
Gotta say it. Third base. Where are you looking to go?
This is not one of my favorite positions. You mentioned Isaac Paredes at second base, so if you want to go there, I already mentioned Christian Encarnacion Strand. Definitely, if you want to use him at third, you definitely can. We didn't mention Polanco at second, but obviously he is probably the most potent Twins bat in the lineup, especially on a team littered with lefties. He can hit from the right side.
Sure. I'm hopeful that Willie Castro is playing today.
And then Willie Castro. And Solano you could play here as well. Curtis Mead is hitting third if that's the direction that your lineup takes you. Hits in 4 straight, but that's it.
Yeah, again, there's really not much here. I agree with you. You like Rodon. Michael Garcia is good against.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, him and Bobby Witt in a little 2-man stack. Or
Caminero, $2,900 hitting 6th.
Yeah, I'd rather probably just play Mead hitting third for I think he is the same price. I'd rather just play Curtis Mead at that point. But to your point, Caminero specifically has dominated against lefties, at least in the minor league level. So take that. I think his first start was against Yusei Kikuchi.
Was it?
I believe so. I think his first hit and walk of his career came against Yusei Kikuchi.
Okay. Again, good price tag for a guy that is probably going to blow up next year. Shortstop, talk to me then. We have Mark chiming in saying Bichette got a discount. He's at 47. If you want to go down there, Bobby Witt's at 62, Seager at 65. Where are you looking to spend here today? You mentioned earlier you like a lot of Reds. Ellie's hitting 7th today. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, he's been hitting near the bottom of the lineup. I don't think they're going to move him up because it's been working for them.
Right.
And he's actually, I guess, responded to it semi-well. There's been some monster Ellie games lately. We just got word JP France scratched. Jose Urquidy is now starting for Houston. They face Arizona, so that's actually
Urquidy's kind of garbage. But is he gonna pitch deep into these games? He's been there like a long man for them, right?
Well, we can just find out. The last time he pitched was 3 innings, 44 pitches. That was the 24th. His last lengthy outing was September 8th, where he threw 73 pitches. So I'm sure he'll probably be limited, like you said.
Lefties only hitting 217 off of him. Righties are hitting 310. So Urquidy is your reverse splits pitcher here.
I see lefties still with a 217 ISO though. So like power. Yeah, power. That is interesting. Back to short, I do love Ellie. I do love Seager as well. He is one of the lefties I would invest here for Texas. I don't know if I'd stack Texas, but I'd play like a couple lefties, maybe Seager one off, maybe Evan Carter as like a 2-man. Whatever you can do, Seager is whatever you want to do. Seager is definitely at the forefront of your Texas exposure. De La Cruz, I get Bichette has been like, is it random though? Like, again, he's not like Tel Marte has 26 home runs and like I think he has double digit stolen bases if I'm not correctly. Like Bichette, 7 stolen bases, 25 home runs, 7 stolen bases. I don't just Bichette. I don't know if it just hasn't been as fruitful of a year as like I think was expected. So
On the Seager point, they have obviously had one game facing Brian Wu this year. Seager was 3 for 4 with a homer and 5 RBIs. So,
yeah, I mean, it's something light.
It's okay.
Something light. Shortstop value sucks outside of Zach Nato, by the way.
Wu allowed 4 home runs in that game, by the way. Leotis, Simeon, Seager, and Adolis.
2 righties in there.
Yeah, a couple of righties in there, but 4 bombs allowed by Brian Wu in that game. Mid-tier and value at shortstop?
Zach Nato and list.
Zach Nato and list. Okay.
I don't have much else.
You're obviously in on means. I like Rosado Rafael, just leading off. So,
I mean, he's just been bad.
Yeah, but I think there's some talent potential.
There's talent. No doubt there's talent. And it's not like Means is missing many bats.
If Kyle Farmer's playing, would you play Farmer versus Block?
Yeah. I assume he's going to, like, again, I don't know why we haven't gotten, like, this is late for, I feel like, 8 o'clock.
It's a Coors game. I mean,
I know, but Colorado had their lineup, like, 4 hours ago. Like, Minnesota, what are we doing?
Sure. Outfield. Kind of sucks that we don't have France versus Carroll anymore because France is terrible against lefties. You did mention the power, obviously, allowed by Urquidy to lefties, but the 217 average is less than lovely.
Yeah, I mean, he would rank behind Acuna and Judge for me in any, I think, still, whoever was pitching amongst like the 6K plays. Acuna gets Trevor Williams. Acuna is the best fantasy player we've ever seen, at least this year. And Aaron Judge is facing the guy who's allowed the 3rd most home runs in baseball. And he's hit a lot of home runs in not a lot of games. So I would say of the 6K plays, Corbin is still last. But that's not me saying he's a bad play because he's obviously like an incredible talent. But sure. I like Acuna and Judge quite a bit.
Yep, that's perfectly fine by me. Soto down to 52 here against Cease. Feels pretty good, just the power that he brings to the table. And he's on fire as well, as is JD Martinez. He gets win here at $5,200. Both of them in play. Are you worried about any of the lefty-lefty matchups for Minnesota? I mean,
yes.
Obviously you are. Okay.
Yes. Not so much because like Ty Block scares me, but they just like don't play their lefties. That's the thing. I don't know how many lefties they're gonna have. They're just gonna front load their lineup with righties. Like they're gonna play Michael Taylor. They're gonna probably play Leplo. They're probably gonna play like Farmer, Solano, and Willie Castro and Vasquez because they have all of these guys that hit from the right side. And then when there's righty, they'll all come out of the game. That's my worry though with the Twins always. Like they all could just get pinch hit for. This is the Giants of the American League where they just mix and match their players 24/7. That's my one concern with the Twins.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kepler even plays. Not that he doesn't deserve to because he's been good lately, but I'm just unsure if he's going to play. And that's why I'm frustrated about the lineup because it's 5:30 and usually you get lineups like 3 to 4 hours before the game.
Yeah. When's Buxton coming back?
He's been playing. They have a lot of questions. Like Lewis and Buxton both have played like little rehab stints. Correa's been announced not going to play in the regular season again. There's a lot of
some mid 4K plays here. So you saw the tweet. TJ Friedel hasn't grounded into a double play in like 500 like plate appearances or something like that. So he's bordering on like the longest run without grounding into a double play. $4,800 for him. Nolan Jones, we love, even against Joe Ryan at 48. Ozuna locked in at 47. Feels pretty strong there as well.
Yeah, Jones is the cover of today's playbook. He's been amazing the entire month of September, and he's been even better the last few weeks. Friedel's been amazing in his own right, like even without he's obviously grounding into double play now that that's been tweeted, but
Yeah.
he is an elite play tonight at 4,800. He's stealing bases, 4 home runs in his last 5 games too, while stealing 3 bases over that span. So TJ Friedl hitting second against Woodward, I love. So those 2 guys specifically that you just gave some light to, and Friedl and Jones are 2 of the better plays in my estimation on the board, and Charlie Blackmon for that matter, 4,500, coming off a monster game in his own right yesterday.
Sure. All right. Low 4K is where are we taking the peak here?
This is not a tier that I find myself like gravitating to.
Okay.
Other than I guess you can count Willie Castro, even though he's a third baseman eligible too if you want to use him here. But Evan Carter is one of the Rangers I would use. He continues to be really good. I know we said, all he does is hit home runs, and he went 0 for 3 last night and let us down big time. But
and didn't make that play in the outfield. Yeah.
And didn't make the play in the outfield. Like he's, he'll be back in the lineup here. But I think there's a lot of like interesting ish sub 4K outfielders, especially because like I want to play Judge and I want to play Acuna and I want to get to Nolan Jones and Friedl and Ellie, and like I find myself getting to like Harold Ramirez at 3,700 against lefty and Joe Adell at 36. Him and Grishik are an interesting like 5-6 stack, and if you want to include Drury in that against Waldisuck, like there's a lot of power in the middle of that lineup. If you're not playing Rodon, Edward Olivares, and I didn't mention Nelson Velasquez, but both those dudes have a bunch of power. Will Benson, if you need a cheap Reds player, him and Nick Martini, John, your ex-favorite player, is hitting. Martini's hitting 5th tonight for the Reds, and he's got some pop against right-handed pitching. And then Esteban Florial's leading off. So there's, I think, Varsho hitting 9th at sub 3K. Like there's a lot of really interesting sub 4K plays that I'd rather get to than that like 4K or below, like 4K to 4,500 range.
Sure. Mark wants to know if we like any of the Giants bats now that they fired Kapler.
I mean, like, when's the last time Mexico City that we like the Giants? Like when they played San Diego in elevations that like.
I mean, his point does hold up a little bit. Lance Lynn's been terrible against lefties. That lineup has a lot of lefty power in it. I haven't looked at any rostership yet. Let me see where people are. Let's see where the field is on Lance Lynn here this evening.
They're gonna get to Lance Lynn.
Let's see. DraftKings main slate. Lance Lynn. Not gonna log in. Let's see. Where is the field getting to? No one is playing Lance Lynn.
Interesting. If that means chalky Giants, I'm playing Lance Lynn because the Giants' offense has been.
Lynn's 12%. Pivetta means Rodon. Shocker. Your top 3 expected players there. Chase Silseth is getting 20% rostership because it's the A's. So
naturally,
naturally get there. Let's see how many people are playing the Giants here this evening. Nobody. Everybody on the Giants is 4% or less there, Mark. So knock yourself out.
You might literally knock yourself out by playing the Giants.
Red Sox are all under 1% rostered here today. No one's playing Arizona. Atlanta's got a couple guys double digit. What do you think the chalk plays are today?
Looking at the slate, I mean Minnesota, obviously.
Yeah, everybody on Minnesota is 15% or higher.
I think Yankees are probably popular. Jordan Lyles on the mound.
Wells, Torres, Stanton, and Judge are all 15% to 20%.
I mean the Stan thing is whatever, but I would say, is there how many other chalky teams are there? There's more.
Well, that's what I'm looking. I'm kind of seeing where we're at. It doesn't seem like it. Seems like a lot of people.
Colorado.
San Diego's getting some love.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, that's an interesting one because they've been good, and Cease, other than Cease's last start, because he was really good in his last start.
Yeah.
Other than that, he has. I mean, he's been decent lately overall, but he has obviously had a very disappointing season.
Nato, Grichuk, and O'Hop are 10%.
Okay.
So some love for them there. But that's mostly it. It's Twins, it's Yankees, and I guess some Padres here.
I don't hate that for my Reds. From my Red stacks here.
Yeah, listen, CES is 5%. He's the highest projected roster Red.
Don't hate that for my Red stacks here, Johnny.
I mean, I feel that way about Texas. Seager is the highest currently projected roster Ranger at 2%.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, this game has no implied runs. It's 4 implied runs for both teams. Like 4 even. There's a low game total in this. People definitely expect it to be low scoring like last.
Any Angels tonight? Yeah, we like Drury. We like Nato. Grichuk, as I just mentioned, hit some power against lefties here. And O'Hop is one of the higher projected roster catchers tonight. So
yeah, I actually like O'Hop tonight.
Home run call. Let's get to it.
Aaron Judge.
I'm going to go Corey Seager. Final home run calls of the season. You and I go Judge and Seager. A good way to send it out. We did our stacks already. Let's get a lineup going here.
Well, what's your favorite stack?
Rangers.
Okay.
Obviously not counting Minnesota. Minnesota is. IC3 wants to know Boston bats for leverage. Nobody is playing Boston. Their highest projected hitter was 0%. So if you want to go Boston against Means today, you could Duvall, I guess, like would be a play.
Ref Snyder's hitting 5th.
Ref Snyder's hitting 5th tonight. I don't know if that counts as leverage. I mean, it counts as leverage in the fact that nobody's playing them, but say Pitchers Park, that team's ready to go. I'm not.
I like Means. I was up for. I like Means. John Means business tonight.
Yeah, maybe a ceiling strikeout game for him, for a guy that doesn't have a lot of strikeout upside. So
yeah.
All right, let's go pitching. We were in on Pivetta Rodon, I guess.
Yep. Pivetta Rodon. I like that.
Okay. Catcher, we were going Wells. You wanted to get Judge in your lineup. I liked Seager, so 39-20.
39-20. Encarnacion Strand for sure. Play him at 3rd because I think we might want to get Drury, or are we playing Florial? I like that because he's so free.
So 4,300 for first, second, and outfield here.
Drury at first, if you want.
Drury?
I mean, second. Yeah.
No, you can only play first. Yeah, that's fine. Drury. Second base here. Do we have any correlation plays?
It's Glaber. If we wanted to just
Glaber.
1-4.
That's good.
Yeah.
Then a $4,300 outfielder to close the show. What do we want to do here?
I don't like this. I mean, I don't like this tier at all.
Willie Castro it is.
Willie Castro it is.
Give us our twin for Coors. We got 4 Rangers to close the show. We got a one-off Texas, a one-off Cincinnati.
We're going out with no twins or one twin.
Hold on, let's do this. I know you like them. Let's go Castro at 3rd. What can we do for a $4,600 outfielder?
I prefer. I mean, you just took out the guy that I said is one of my favorite plays of the slate. How dare you?
All right, fine. Should we get a 43?
Fade. Honestly, John, it would do us great, do us good to fade Minnesota in the most Minnesota spot.
We didn't. Well, we don't have a lineup, and they're facing a lefty. So
I know this feels so good to fade them. I'm gonna be straight up. It feels so good to fade them. It does. It feels good. Can't lie. Feels good. Feels great.
Could be good. Could be good. Yeah, like I don't know. You said you liked Solano. It's 3,400. Like, what would we do from here? Probably nothing, right?
Probably
like,
nothing. Yeah.
I mean, we can't move up at first. You like it. We could get Polanco, but you like CES, so
We could also get up from Glaber if you wanted Polanco.
get 53.
Yeah, I think Polanco's. Yeah.
I mean, I kind of agree with you on going against Lyles here.
Yeah.
He hasn't been hitting that ball well. How's Polanco been hitting? He didn't hit any better?
They're like, yeah, I mean,
not really better.
Look, second base is, you see 25 home runs from a second baseman, Glaber, and you're like, oh, that's pretty good. I mean, it's not Seager, or it's not Semien or Albies, that's about where the.
Well, we could do this, I guess.
Yeah, that one works.
Do Solano as our spend down first. Get Juan Soto in the lineup.
Don't hate having
or do we do Nolan Jones cover your playbook?
Also, don't hate Nolan Jones cover the playbook in the lineup either.
38. Can we get anybody here?
3,800 at first. It's unfortunate because a couple hundred off some good first baseman.
Yeah. Nope, nothing down
If
here.
you wanted to, what you could do is you could go off Glaber to Brendan Rodgers and correlate Jones and Rodgers, and then go up at first base. And just play the. Does
this get us anything closer? Kyle Farmer? There we go.
So Farmer instead of Solano.
We worked our way around. Solano has no power, right? At least Farmer has some home run upside.
I swear we did this song and dance before, and that exact quote was used, and then he hit a home run.
Well, if you could find me $300, I'd get Castro back in the third, but I don't know where to go. So,
you go down from Glaber to Brendan Rodgers.
Glaber to Brendan Rodgers. All right, we can do that too. So, Paul likes Solano. It's not that I don't like Solano. Mark wants his money back. I don't know what that means.
We're paying you.
We're not paying. Yeah, we're paying you, Mark. You got a shift tomorrow, son.
Yeah.
All right. So this is a look here. A couple example different lineups for everybody. Playbook is out for Grande, so you can find it all there. You get them on Discord. Follow them on Twitter. For the final time, the MLB DFS Playbook live show goes off, but we're still around. Follow us on Twitter. Become a member of the family today. Scan the QR code. 7-day free trial is still active. Go to fantasyslam.com/win or scan the QR code here. Guys, we will be back. It was the initial twinless lineup. That's fair. That's fair.
Sure.
We made it work. We made it work, everybody.
With Willie Castro.
We made it work with Willie Castro. We will be back for the NBA season, but we're always around on Twitter and the Discord. Good luck, everybody, tonight. It's been fun. We'll catch you next season.